I feel the need for speed. Ow!
Hey, real quick, right before we jump into this video, if you'd do me a huge favor and hit that like button. Also, thank you for subscribing to this channel. If you'd like to be notified of future videos, please hit that bell icon. Have a great day and enjoy this video. Is your group going on a high adventure trip? Well, traveling with scouts can be exciting for the scouts and can be stressful for the adults. So let's discuss some things that your group can do to help ensure your travel with your group is smooth. So for air travel, start your planning early. I would recommend that your travel plans include getting a morning flight and spending that night in a hotel in the city that you're flying to. You can expect your flight to be delayed. Someone's bag could get delayed or lost. Your ground transportation may get delayed or have a problem. So when you spend a night in your destination city, the airport you fly into, it gives you a lot more flexibility if something goes wrong. Also, likely, because it's a city with an airport, there will be more choices for lodging, for meals, and more opportunities to replace or repurchase items that may not have survived the trip. It also gives your group a chance to settle down and repack your clothing and equipment for your arrival at your final destination. Typically, and trust me, once you show up at your final destination, you'll be very busy, and you don't want to repack at the trailhead. It's much easier to repack in a hotel room, and when repacking in a hotel room, there's a lot less chance that you will lose something. Alright, let's talk about buying tickets. I recommend that any youth which aren't traveling with their parent travel under the ticket of an adult who is traveling. So any adult who's traveling and you have youth in your group that don't have a parent going along, those adults, as long as complying with the rules, should buy the ticket for the youth that doesn't have a parent going. That seems to be much simpler than trying to have the youth, buy their own ticket. Then there's some questions about who's actually in charge of that youth while they're in transit. Just kind of creates a bunch of problems. The other thing about buying tickets that I'm going to recommend is that you try to minimize or eliminate any stops along the way. So try to buy a ticket that is a direct flight from where you're leaving to where you're arriving. The more stops you have along the way, especially if you check a bag, gives a lot more options, Murphy's Law to come into effect, where your bag could become lost or delayed and you'll not end up with it when you arrive at your destination city. Make sure you have a trusted adult who's back home and not on your trip. This trusted adult should be available to handle things should they arise. Make sure contact information. All the adults need all the cell phone numbers for all the youth they are traveling with. They also need the cell phone numbers for all the other adults they're traveling with, including their spouses back home in case there's an emergency with that adult. They also need the contact information for the parents of any youth they're traveling with. And of course, also the trusted adult that's back home. Make sure that the parents and the trusted adult know the planned itinerary and have all the travel plans. And they also have any phone numbers for your final destination, like for Philmont or Northern Tier, Sea Base, Summit, or an outfitter, whatever you're doing. Make sure everybody brings their cell phone, a car charger, a wall charger, and also earbuds. Don't forget any paperwork that you need. So first of all, we always want to try to travel with at least our field shirt on. Make sure to remove any loose patches and anything metallic from your shirt. There's no need to lose a patch or get extra screening at the airport. Everybody needs to bring identification with them. Make sure everybody has the right ID. If a government issued ID is available, then take that. If not, do the best you can, like take a school issued photo ID. Make sure you bring your passport if that's needed. Make sure everybody brings a credit card, not a debit card. If you lose a debit card, your wallet gets stolen, it's much easier to deal with a credit card company than it is to deal with your bank. And remember, when you're on the road, you may not have the time or resources, like even a cell phone signal, to deal with problems. Also bring cash and small bills. If you're flying, everyone's going to have to go through airport security. First, have your ticket and photo ID easily available and on your person. Be prepared to remove your footwear and anything metallic from your clothing. You will also need to empty out your pockets. So let's talk about actually getting through the security screening process. Well, first of all, go through security in one group. Have an adult go first. This adult can collect youth coming through security after them, and then manage any problems on the other side of the security screening. Have an adult go last through security screening. So this adult can deal with any problems on the non-secure side of screening. So all the youth will go through security in the middle. Any parents that have youth traveling without them should be at the airport and stay with the group until the group gets through security, just in case there's some problem and they're needed. Now, once everyone gets through security, stay together as a group and get to your gate. Once you're at your gate, if you have time, remind everyone to use the buddy system, and then go to the restroom and get a snack and get a drink. Make sure they also remember not to leave their bags just laying about and unattended, that someone's watching them. Remember, just because you may have traveled by plane before doesn't mean that everyone in your group has. And quite possibly, even if that youth has flown before, this is probably the first time they've done so without their parents. So do not assume that everyone knows what to expect. So one last thing about airport security. You know, a scout is cheerful. It means we typically as a group like to have fun. We like to have a good time. Just remind everybody that when you're inside an airport, you're inside the security area of an airport, that's not necessarily the best time to have the most fun time, okay? So that means they got to act, you know, in their best behavior. Airport security is taken very seriously. So I say this in jest, but I mean this in all seriousness. You know, it wouldn't be prudent, for example, if you had a youth in your group named Jack, for someone to come up and say, "Hi, Jack." Yeah, see, that would get you in trouble immediately. So think about that and figure out how to have that conversation with youth before you get to the airport. So that's it for this video. I hope this gave you some ideas on how to travel with scouts. Remember, always start early, and the scout motto is, be prepared. Hey, I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you'd like to support this channel, remember, please subscribe to this channel, tell your friends about it. Thanks for hitting that like button. Everything here is free. I want to give back to the community. I want to give to you everything here for free. I've been out in the outdoors for a long, long time, and it's great that I can be able to give all this information to you. That is what's most important to me.
If you would like to give back, I do have a GoFundMe page set up, and you can follow the link. And if you'd like to, if you're a youth with your parents' support, I would gladly accept your donations. Thank you and have a blessed day.